Hello everybody, my name is Peter Leonard and I'm excited to tell you about Google Classroom today. So when we start off, it's important to know what Google Classroom is and how you can best utilize this. So the first thing that you want to do when you're using Google Classroom is you need to create a class, which is super easy to do. To preface this though, if you are part of a school domain, you do have to do a couple of things differently than if you just have a regular Google account. And so once you get into your school and you have your school email, it'll be a little bit different. But so just using it on my personal account, there's an easy way to create a class, which is just clicking this and either joining a class or creating a class. You understand that it works differently for schools. And then all you have to do is put in the different information here. That would I already went through that and I ended up creating my own classroom, which I'm calling Peter's Tech Tool, which I'll use just to show you how to use this program. So the first thing that you're going to notice is there's this class code here. And just to make this clear, I am on the teacher facing side. I also have a student facing side that I'll pull up here in a little bit, but this is what it's going to look like when you're the teacher, the class. So you have your class code, which students can use to join your classroom. And then you have your feed, which we've already seen in Dr. Barger's class. And you also have your classwork. I'll get more into this in a little bit. You have the people in the class, which you can do certain things. We'll get to that in a little bit too. Then finally, you have your grades, which we'll cover as well. So coming first to the stream. The stream, I'm not going to talk about at an extensive level because, like I said, Dr. Barker's used the stream pretty well. But the stream is nice because this is just kind of where you can post either announcements like I did down here, or you can post, or where you get updates about different material that you've put in your classwork. But what can you put in a stream? You can put just like a little brief thought, you can attach files, you can do stuff with Google Drive, you can do stuff with YouTube videos, you can embed links. And when you do that, so if I say hi, you can choose to post it immediately, or you can choose to schedule it. Which is neat because if you want to do something on Saturday night but have it go out on Monday morning, you can do that and not have to worry about that much. So that's like the stream part of Google Classroom. Going on to the classwork section, this is where Google Classroom gets really valuable for teachers. So the first thing that you should notice is this Google Calendar and Class Drive folder. We'll get to those in a second, but Google does integrate a lot of its other programs into Google Classroom. So you have this create part. And you have all these different options of assignments or materials to do. So if you create an assignment, for example, well, let's do that. Let's just say you had students write a paper about World War II. So you can say World War II turn in. And then what's neat about Google Classroom is that you can either assign a points value or leave it ungraded. You can determine how many points you have. You can set a due date, which is really neat. So if I want this to be due on Friday, I can do that. And then once you hit assign, you just essentially turn that assignment out to the rest of your students. And so now I'm going to jump to the student view. So if I'm in Mr. Leonard's class and I'm one of the students, I can go and I can see that there's a new assignment. And when I look at it, I can see that it's due in a little bit. And I can add my own work to it. So I'm just going to pick a random file from my computer here. And then you can upload that and turn it in to your teacher. So that's how it looks from the student side. All you have to do is press turn it in, you turn it in. And it's as simple as that to assign an assignment and have someone turn it in. Now this is where, again, Google Classroom is pretty neat. So I've just posted that assignment, the student turned it in, and now what I can do is I can go to the grades part. And you can see that you have the different students in your class, you have the different assignments, and you have what you have graded and what you haven't graded. So if you haven't graded something, it'll show up right here. And you can click on that assignment, and you can see what the people have turned in so far. So this is what I just turned in with that one assignment about World War II. So I, as a teacher, have a couple abilities when I'm looking at this paper. I can comment on it, I can assign a grade to it. So if I think it's really good, I can give it like a really good grade. I can add a private comment to it where only me and the student can have a little bit of an interaction. And then I can post it. And then I can return it back to the student. And returning back to the student essentially just means you're returning back their grade and any of the comments that you had on their paper. So if I press return, then the student can see that I graded it, and they can see any of the comments that I added to it. So you see that grade right there. So it's really easy to assign different papers and stuff and then easily grade them. But that's not the only thing you can do in Google Classroom. So that was one of the many different assignments that you can post. So that was your assignment. You can also create a quiz, which will pop up a Google form that you can have students fill out and easily grade. You can post a question. So if I say, what's your favorite food? You can even make it ungraded. You can have no due date, no topic. You can have students reply to each other, which I think is really valuable for getting that student interaction online. And if you ask it, again, going to the student-facing side, it's really easy to answer that question. And then you can have people respond to each other. You can have people really use it as like a messaging board, which is neat. You can also create, or you can post material as well. The cool thing about this is that once you create separate topics, so for example, in this actual classwork is a topic, hockey's a topic, you can post your material. So if I wanted to post some sort of a YouTube video, right? It's super easy to post the material that you want and then to sort it into the different sections. And then when you go back to the student-facing side, you can see that under classwork, not only do you have all the different assignments, but you can see under the different labels as well. So, last thing I want to talk about is how this integrates with Google Calendar in the Class Drive folder. So I'm on the teacher-facing side. When I click Google Classroom, this is really neat because it shows you when your different assignments are due. And then when you go to the Class Google Drive folder, it neatly has all of your different stuff already organized in a Google Drive folder. And so you can see all the different assignments that people have turned in. You can see the different quiz or the different responses to quizzes. And so all of your stuff is just right here in this part of the classroom. And so overall, I think that Google Classroom is a really valuable way to organize your material. I think it's really valuable for students because it's so easy to kind of catch up on what's been happening. And it's really easy to access the assignments and then grade the assignments too. So especially with how well it's tied in with other Google products, I think that's a very valuable tool to use in a classroom.